so we just landed in Melbourne as the locals say it.
Melbourne.
We're trying to find an Airbnb, but yeah, we just flew in, rode the train over here. We don't really know anyone here. We don't have jobs. We don't have a place to live. But we're gonna try to figure it out. Come along for the ride. So this morning, we're hopping on the train really early to try to go pick up a car because we're trying to get out of Melbourne because we don't like cities, but you really need a vehicle once you get out of the city. So that's our plan this morning. The people we're getting the car from, we just found it on a website online. Hopefully it works well, but they've got work, so we can either pick it up at 6 p.m. tonight or 7:30 a.m. this morning. So we're doing the a.m. route.
So we're on our way to pick up the car. We're just walking to the house. The public transport here is awesome. It was so easy. The train is like really simple. They have lots of information everywhere. Buses are easy, and you use something called the Mikey card.
Yeah. And it's all in English for once. It's a first for us for a long time.
English. After 9 months of living in Asia, a little bit more English.
So we got ourselves a rental car. I looked into buying a cheap beat-up car, and it's gonna cost like $2,000 to $3,000 to get one that would pass the registration and stuff. There's a lot of fees here and stuff, and I'm only planning on being here like a month and a half, 2 months. So it wasn't really worth it because you're gonna lose a lot of money in taxes and fees buying and selling a car in that short period of time. So instead we decided to rent a car. So we just picked up the car. This way we're not worried about the car breaking down either because it's actually a decent car instead of a beat up $1,000 car.
Yep.
So it's a pretty nice car. It's a Toyota Yaris 2013. I semi-fit in it. It's not bad, but fuel efficient, which is nice because gas here is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But we've got some more errands to run. Both of us don't like the city, so we're headed, what is that, east out to the countryside so we can get our feet under ourselves. We're gonna be helping out on a farm and trading about 20 hours of labor for food and board, room and board. So that way it's just a good way for us to be able to experience Australia and figure things out instead of having the pressure of having a job and having rent to pay and stuff immediately once we get here. So today we got some errands to run. We gotta get some SIM cards for our phone, or probably just one of our phones, so that we can call people. And then we want to get some food and probably some camping gear actually, so that we can camp for cheap or free. So let's see, man, do this U-turn. Whee! That was a fast U-turn.
Thanks.
So we're off, and we're gonna check out the beach today, hopefully. So I looked into several different car rental agencies for long-term rentals to get a good deal, but because they're both under 25, they all had crazy, stupid fees and stuff because they think we can't drive.
And we're American, probably.
Yeah. But I found this website called drivemycar.com.au, whatever, for Australia. And it's kind of like Airbnb but for cars. So we went and picked up our car today from a nice man, but this is just his personal car. It's not like a commercial vehicle or anything, and we're renting it for the next 45 days, and we paid it all online, kind of like Airbnb. He handed us the keys, we did an inspection, took a bunch of pictures just so we don't get charged for stupid little scratches. But so far so good. If there's any issues with the car and it breaks down, the company is going to deal with getting us a replacement car and paying for all the problems. So it seems like a good deal for us, and it's a lot cheaper than all the actual car rental businesses, and they rented to us even though we're 22 and 24. But yeah, oldie. So we were both hoping to get jobs here in Australia. Before I applied, we both had to get work visas. So that ended up costing a fair amount of money. It was over like $300 US each. But got them, applied to a couple jobs. I had an interview with some bushland firefighting companies, just because that's what I did back in the States. But wasn't successful in getting hired on in time for this summer, because now it's becoming summer in Australia. We applied for a couple other random small jobs, but it's kind of difficult to get jobs without actually being in the country yet. So we decided to just find a place to stay without losing too much money. So if we got a place to stay in Melbourne, we'd instantly be spending several $100s a week just for rent. So instead we went to a website called Workaway. It's kind of like woofing, where you farm and stuff and you can stay for free. But this is just, you trade about 4 to 5 hours of work 5 days a week, so 20 hours a week for housing and food, and that's all taken care of, so you don't really have to worry about it. You're not making money, but you're not losing money. So it's a pretty good deal, especially in high cost of living areas. So we're gonna hopefully be working primarily on renovating a horse trailer into a tiny home because we have a little bit of experience doing similar stuff. Besides that, though, I'm sure there'll be plenty of work around the farm. They've got cows, they've got
Sheep,
livestock, they've got
goat.
kids.
I got kids.
You don't sound happy. You don't want to
kids.
babysit? No, I'm sure we're gonna have a great time. It seems like a really nice family, so we're gonna take our time heading out that way. Probably spend a couple days camping along the way, enjoying the Australian coast. Maybe even see a great white shark, because I know that would make Mandy really happy. We went to the grocery store, got some groceries, and then I got a prepaid SIM card, which I'm gonna try to get figured out so that we can contact people, put it on jobs if we want to apply, and just use maps and stuff in general. So hopefully we'll be able to have communication pretty soon. So thankfully our Airbnb had parking for us, but this is our last night here and we have absolutely no idea where we're sleeping tomorrow night. So we've got to figure that out tomorrow, but we've got food, so we're not gonna starve. Now we just gotta find some shelter. Costco is here, and Costco memberships work all over the world, so we stocked up on food so we're not having to stop at like convenience stores for unhealthy, expensive food. So this little extra storage space has become our pantry.
Yay!
So if you see our car driving around, please don't rob our food because we really need this food and we're really hungry. But yeah, it's mostly just tuna, peanut butter, and bread, and like tortillas for making stuff. Cheap, easy, nutritious sustenance. So this is our Airbnb and we love it. It's super nice. It's kind of high in our budget because we ended up canceling another one where we were staying for 4 days because we were going to go car shopping, so we're going to stay in Melbourne longer. So we switched 2 days in Melbourne, a little nicer place, but 2 days because we're going to rent the car instead. And we are so happy we're not walking around like there's a used car dealership right now right out there. I'm so glad we're not spending like days in the sunlight dealing with shady car dealership and then trying to figure out all the government stuff. We're pretty happy with our car rental. In the long run, it's going to cost about $300-400 US extra than if we had bought one and resold it for the same price. But that just involves so much more risk and liability because we could have lost all of our money if we had bought a car and then it had broken down, and then or if we couldn't sell it before we needed to leave.
Yep.
So yeah.
Worth it.
Yep, we got a bunch of food at Costco because Costco's cheap. Mandy's researching where we're going to spend the night tomorrow night, and I'm going to have to exchange the last of our Japanese yen that we have to Australian dollars. We're fully committed now. So I've got some Japanese yen from working over in Japan, and I exchanged a little bit at the airport, but it's a horrible exchange rate. Like, they took 20% commission. So I just did a little bit, and I got the rest exchanged, and now we're ready to party in Australia. And hopefully not run out of money. We are off to Savers, a thrift shop, to try to get some cooking supplies and just basic necessities. That one is that really nice thing.
That was really exciting.
Got a sweet load of kitchen stuff from the thrift store, and now we're off to hopefully the last errand of the day. And we found a guy on Gumtree, which is the equivalent of Craigslist in Australia. And he's selling a tent, camping stove, and
A tent and
camping pad and stuff, so that we can camp. And he's like $15, so we're gonna go meet up with him and get his tent. And we should be all ready for a road trip because we know where we're going, and it's east to a couple campsites. So we got all this stuff used yesterday, washed it all at the Airbnb, spent like less than 20 bucks. We have a full kitchen set now. Got this tent. The person said it's 2-person, but it is a very small, nice Asian lady. Also, for that same $15 deal, got a camping stove with some gas, so we can cook now with this stuff and make actual food. We are stuck in Melbourne traffic, but we've got the trunk full of our stuff. The only thing we don't have is a mattress or a camping pad or something to sleep on. So we're gonna stop by there, and then we're gonna get out of the city and spend a couple days traveling along the coast before we start working.